Hey, what's up, 360? Back this week. This past Sunday, we jumped into week 2 of a study in Joseph, and in a series called "What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do." And so, if you missed out, make sure and go check out that message. But the Devo for today. Sorry, I missed yesterday, but the Devo for today is comes out of Philippians 4:13. It's one of those verses that I remember singing about and memorizing as a little kid. Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." When I was a kid, it was in the King James version, which is like this old school Bible that has a bunch of old English in it, and it says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me," which is kind of cool. I can't think of another time in life when I use the word strengtheneth, but it's a pretty cool word to know. So the idea is that life is hard sometimes, and at some point we're going to be walking through difficult seasons or circumstances of life. It might be a divorce. It might be the death of someone that we care about and love. It might be the end of a friendship. It might be some other kind of loss. And the thought that, man, how am I going to get through this is definitely prevalent and kind of can lead people down really dark paths. And when Paul wrote this, he was writing it from being in prison, right? And not just like a modern day prison where you got fed like 3 meals a day. And I'm not saying that not modern day prisons are nice, but in terms of the quality of care and the compared to the dank, dark dungeons or prisons in the time of the Roman Empire, Paul's writing from this place of a time in his life when things just weren't looking good in terms of being in prison. And rather than giving up on God and saying, well, I must be in a bad place and God must have abandoned me, he writes this letter of praise to God and thanks, and says his goal is to ask, God, how can I persevere? How am I going to get through it? And we can take note of that. And I think that in our difficult circumstances, it allows us to say, God, give me the strength to get through it. I know, God, that you don't bring anything my way that I'm not going to be able to handle. And so be everything that I need in order to get through this. So my challenge today is simply to pray that God will not only give you that strength in those hard times, but that you can trust his faithfulness to help you in the middle of it. So that's it for today. Remember that when you don't know what to do, God is with you in the middle of each and every breakup or destructive circumstance where you just feel like your life is a mess and is falling apart. So be encouraged by that. Encourage somebody else with that today, if you would. And we'll see you tomorrow.